Did you hit the record?
You're on.
All righty. Hello, everyone. This is Mary Weber, and today is Wednesday, the 13th of February, and it is our Goal Diggers Stepping Up to Success. And I'd like to introduce Amy Schramm, who is our virtual party guru. She is a bonus speaker that we are throwing in. Amy was kind enough when we first started promoting this to ask if we would like her to do anything or be a guest speaker or help out in any way. And I immediately glommed onto that because I've heard Amy speak about virtual parties before. And Amy was doing and having successful virtual parties long before any of us had even heard of the concept. So I thought we were so fortunate to have her. And so, I want to welcome her and thank her so much for doing this for us. Just to give you a little background about Amy, on February 19th, she is going to be celebrating her 20th anniversary with the Pampered Chef. Her career sales are $1,244,000. She has recruited 125 new consultants. Her current show average is $1,165. Wouldn't every one of us love to have a show average like that? And her virtual show average is $768. I would also like to have a virtual show average like that. Amy's income this year over same time last year is up by 93%. She is a smart businesswoman who is always on the cutting edge. She's willing to learn and always ready to share her pampered wisdom, and I am so glad that she is here to share it with us this evening. So please join me in welcoming Amy Schramm. Take it away, Amy.
Thank you, Mary. That was very sweet. I'm very comfortable just trying things, which is one of the reasons why I think I've been probably more successful in my business, because I hear something and I just try it. I don't wait around until I figure it out. I don't wait around until I find out the details. I just jump in and try it and then figure out how to tweak it as it goes. So when virtuals first became a big deal, I just kind of jumped right in and I did really well. And then Facebook made a lot of changes and it became a little bit harder to do virtuals. And so I kind of let it go because my home party sales were great and I had a great home party schedule. But I've been looking for some more ways to increase my virtual presence. And I was able to get a hold of a host coaching script. And if you want to fix your parties, if you want sales like I have, it all comes down to host coaching. And if you're not doing your host coaching, there's nothing I can do to help you. So the beauty of this particular virtual system, and I actually have a very specific system for my home parties too, but for a virtual system, we actually have a script that I got from another group. And I've been changing it up because they didn't want it shared verbatim. And I was supposed to make a few more changes to it today and I didn't get it done. So I'm going to do those tomorrow and then I will post it. But basically it comes down to, you need, 3 different websites. You need, the Pampered Chef site because you need to set up the party. You need Facebook because that's generally where most of these are being held, although there are a number of other consultants trying other different types of venues. And then you need a posting service. And I say need, technically you don't. You could manually post it. If you want to hate yourself completely, it is very difficult to manually post a show, especially one that goes for a week like this one does. So the script does run Friday to Friday. And initially I was starting a new series of parties every single Friday. I found that to be very stressful. So now on my calendar, I have every other Friday circled. And so, for example, this week on the 15th, I have a new batch of parties starting. I generally batch them together. When I first tried this, I was able to get 2 at once. And then 2 weeks later, I got 2 at once. And then I got 3 at once. And now I'm consistently doing 4 at a time. And I find anything more than that, I'm more likely to end up in Facebook jail because of the friending of people and the messaging of people I'm not friends with. So I find 4 to be kind of a good balance. To give you an idea, the batch of parties that I just finished, I had 4 parties. All 4 of them qualified and had sales. And the sales, I just added up the numbers right now, came to $2,967 for those 4 parties. 2 weeks ago, the 4 parties that I ran, one of them had 0 sales. So really I only turned in 3 parties. And those sales were $3,336 for 3 parties. And it all comes down to the host coaching. I cannot emphasize this enough. I have shared, I know someone just messaged me and asked for my home party host coaching system, and that's fine. I don't care. I've shared it with so many people. And the thing is almost no one ever uses it. So I can share as much of this as you want me to. I would challenge you to actually use it because it actually does matter. It really, truly makes a difference. Without the host coaching, I would not have the numbers that I have. So let me show you a couple of different screens that might be helpful for you. All right, hang on. Screen share. Okay, so you all are familiar with this. This is the normal, Pampered Chef party page. This is the show page. You'll notice I unclick the display host chairperson phone number. I do that because for a while, and still even now, we get a lot of spam where people are going in and harvesting phone numbers, and they were actually going in and harvesting host phone numbers. So I've taken that out of there. Down here under show description, I've tweaked it a little bit. Do you guys all know that you can actually mess around with this stuff and you can highlight things? Like if I want to, actually Shop Now is supposed to be highlighted. So I can go into Shop Now. I can make the text a little bit bigger. I can go over here and I can highlight it in green. And then I usually increase the font size in Facebook too. So, and what it does is it just makes it look a little bit nicer when they actually click on it. We all know that you had the Facebook event link, right? Okay. And then I always personalize my show party link, and I do it with the host name, and then generally the date of the party. So in this case, it was just a January Facebook party, so that's all I put in. But if it was a home party, it might be Sherry, January 25th. I do this because I do so many shows that I cannot keep track of it. And the way Pampered Chef is currently auto doing it for us, I just find it's too long, so I choose to shorten it. It's a personal quirk. It's my thing, but it's just something I like to do. So as long as you have all this in here, what I emphasize over and over again with my host is I highly encourage them multiple times to go ahead and preview the party page. Oops, hang on. This is an old party that, actually, this is a valid party, so I'm not sure why it's coming up that way. That's a good question. But I encourage them to go look at it, because then you can see where it says, click here for viewing the catalog, and click here to go to the Facebook party. I think a big disservice that a lot of people do is that we don't encourage the host to take a look at that link, see what that link does, and then also to repeatedly send that link out over and over and over again. It's a numbers game. All a successful party is, whether it's a home party or a virtual party, is a numbers game. It is nothing more than that. And it's the host's job to basically send that link out everywhere they possibly can. All right, so I know you guys pretty much, know the Pampered Chef stuff. This is what my parties look like. I've always got some coordinating graphics. So for example, the parties that I'm doing this week are all related to New Year, Better You. The party packs. Is anybody here not familiar with the party packs? And I can't see all your faces. So Mary, if there's somebody raising their hand, let me know. Because I only see about 4 of you. Mary, you're muted. Okay, did you want to say something?
Okay, if anybody, raise your hand or wave at me as I'm scrolling.
Are we all good?
Everybody's good.
Everybody's good. You all know the party packs? Okay. I actually choose to download the party packs. I actually have them saved on my computer just because, and actually I have them saved on my desktop by category. I just find I'm actively using them for a lot of different things pretty consistently. And for me, it's just easier to do that. So I have, file folders, one for Best Summer Ever, one for Fast and Fresh, one for, Mexican Fiesta, New Year Better You, all those different things. So they each have their own file folder. For example, Prep Ahead is one that's actually been out there for a while. Pampered Chef actually went in and redid a good chunk of the photos in there. And if I wouldn't have had that downloaded, I would have lost all the old photos and all the old recipes. So because what they've done is they've put a lot of new stuff in there and took a lot of old stuff out. And I still want access to a lot of those old recipes and some of the old photos. So that's nice because now I'm able to keep that. So this is a New Year Better You party that's starting Friday. I have, hang on, sorry. I have party details in sight. You don't need to copy any of this down. This is actually all in the script. Everything is in the script. And then you just make sure that you change out the party link. That's it. This style of party does call for you to do a Google door prize slip. I'm sure not all of you have ever done that before. It's just like anything else that's new. It's like, oh, I don't know how to do it. And you get a little nervous about it. But here's the cool thing. Somebody a couple of years ago actually did a video on how do you create a Google door prize slip. And you just watch the video and it teaches you how to create something in Google. And once you do that, it's yours forever. So I just keep using the same Google door prize slip. And then when I have a batch of parties end, I delete everything and then my new batch starts and I'm good to go. So that's really helpful. The cool thing there too is it's helping you get a little more information. And yes, a lot of people are saying no to your questions about joining us or having a party. Or my favorite are the people who don't know how computers work and they click yes to everything. And then when you call them, they say, well, I didn't want anything. So you'll get some of that too. But this works out really well by picking a theme and then each day is a theme. So let me back up. You pick a theme. So we have New Year Better You. So now for me, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the days of engagement. I start with engagement. My goal is not to promote products. My goal is not to promote really anything Pampered Chef. My goal is to engage them 100%. By Sunday night, I want a ton of activity. So a big thing that we do over the weekends is we've got an early bird post. And yes, you will all be getting or have access to a sample party. I do my parties via Post My Party. Is anybody using something besides Post My Party? Okay. I might just have to give you access to a party I'm done with. And you're going to have to manually pull stuff from there and look at the times that it posted. Because everything I'm doing is run through Post My Party. And I'm happy to share an older version of the New Year Better You script, one that I'm getting away from. I've saved it and I've updated stuff. So what I'm going to tell you here is once you have a good script has two parts. It has the structure of the script, the days and the times that things are posted and okay, 2:00 on Tuesday is a booking, comment, 3:00 on Wednesday is a recruiting comment, 1:00 on Monday is a fundraising comment, things like that. Once those are set, you don't have to mess with them. You just let them go. So I'm not recreating a script every time I want to do this. In fact, I did the New Year Better You for all of January. And then in February, I wanted the first session in February, I wanted to do Mexican Fiesta. So all I did was in Post My Party, I can copy the entire script and I can recreate it as a new script. That's confusing. I can kind of paste it just like you would anything else, and then I can go in and edit it. So I went in and I edited everything that said New Year Better You. I flipped it to the Mexican posts. And the New Year Better You recipes, I flipped them to Mexican recipes. And then I flipped those daily products that were talked about to products that went with the Mexican recipes versus the New Year Better You recipes. Does that make sense? You guys following me on that? I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to, does anybody want me to show you what I'm talking about? Or do you guys think you're good with that?
It's
Terry,
looking like everybody wants you to show them.
okay. All right, so Post My Party looks like this. This is Lisa's party. It's going to be starting on Friday. Let me just go into templates, list. I've been using Post My Party for a long time, so I've got a lot in here. Okay, so New Year Better You. So this is New Year Better You, and if you're using Post My Party, I can enable a template to be shared. And so I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm actually going to send it to all of you. And if you have Post My Party, you're going to be able to open it, and this party will import for you. Okay, so the whole party will be there. And I've made enough changes that you guys can have the old version. I don't care. And then you can make your own changes. But what I want to show you, okay, this is what it'll look like when I share the template through the link. And let me be very, very, very clear. It does not, my sharing this with you does not mean you're going to have 4 parties and $3,000 in sales next week. Okay? It's not. If you don't host coach, none of this matters. I don't care if you have a script written in gold. If you do not host coach, there is nothing I can do for you. Okay? The host coaching script is very, very detailed, very elaborate. It's actually written for someone who knows nothing. And if you know nothing, you can follow through. So let me do this Post My Party, because I know we're already at almost 20 minutes, and I've got a few more things I want to go over. But basically, I'm going to start the import process. And one of the reasons I like showing this to people is you see how my cursor is turned to a red circle with a line through it? Everybody assumes when they see this that it now doesn't work and they stop. Guess what? It actually works. So you copy and you paste. So, and then the graphic that goes with it. And I don't know why this isn't the first post, so I'm not sure what the deal is here, or maybe it is. A couple of different things. I tell my people when you're importing and Post My Party, do not, oh my gosh, please do not try and edit while you're importing. Just pound it out. And there are multiple reasons. One, you can't change pictures anyway, so you're going to have to go back and re-edit things if you're going to change pictures. And 2, it's really, really easy to lose track of where you are. 3, if you're editing while you're importing and you get interrupted, if you leave this and come back, you lose everything and you have to start over. So if you're going to import into Post My Party, just import, pound it out, just go boom, 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 done, and then go back and edit. You'll notice right here, you see where it says order link and door prize slip. Do you see where it's the brackets and it says link and then the brackets and it says text? There's also another option, brackets, and it'll say host. These are automated fill in the blanks is one way to put it. All right. So when you're asked to create a party, it'll ask you what link do you want? And you tell it, this is my, whatever link you want for the party. Well, that means anywhere that this is in the party, it's going to autofill. I have had people manually go in and redo this, even after I told them not to do it because it autofills and they're not understanding it. So I like to make this very, very clear to people. These, if it's in a bracket, it means it's autofilling. and you have a chance to tell it what to autofill when you create the party. All right. Any questions about that? Okay. So I have this on almost every post, not every post, but almost every post. And you just scroll down and you go next, and you just keep copy pasting, copy pasting, copy pasting. Once you're done importing everything, I do encourage you to go in and change some of the graphics. You're not going to change all of them. That's okay. But try and change some of them. You know, like there's only, if I have a graphic that says winner on it, you know what? Go do a Google image search and find one that says winner that you like better, and pick that and save that. Okay. I'm more than willing to share, but we're all trying to do enough changes to keep everybody out of Facebook jail. And it would not be fair to me or my team that we end up in Facebook jail because you guys use too much of the same content. So I would just respectfully request that, you know, you do what you can to change things up. And if maybe, you know, I speak differently than you do, I write differently than you do. If you look at a sentence that I wrote and it doesn't make, you're like, I would never say that. Please, I beg you, change it. It will only help all of us if you do some minor edits. All right. And if you find a typo, I don't want to know about it because I'm a typo freak and I'll be like horrified that I have a typo. So, but even like this one, you know, what's your favorite meal? Well, there's a ton of engagement posts. Pampered Chef has created so many engagement graphics for us. So maybe instead of that one, you just pick a different one. Okay. Is this all clicking? I'm pretty sure a lot of this is stuff you've heard before, but I honestly don't know your level of experience. So I'm trying to give you a little bit of everything. Okay. The one other thing I do want to say is while most of my posts have graphics, a number of them do have videos or YouTube links. Or I am a huge fan of our Pampered Chef blog. Do we all know that we all have a blog on our personal website? I'm seeing one nodding yes, and the rest are just like, what? Okay, let's go look at the blog. If I go to my personal website, look over here. Do you see where it says blog? Click it. Pampered Chef writes a blog for you in your name. And you can go back years. There is an obnoxious amount of information in here. 6 easy salads for lunch. Down here, 13 favorite Pampered Chef products of 2018. So let me tell you how many times I posted that in a bunch of different parties. Healthy recipes, healthy lunches, sheet pan dinners. You can go up here and, oh, here's one. How to decorate a cake like a boss. You know, whatever you're thinking of. Or I can go up here and just search and type, see what happens if I type Easter. Oh, there you go, Easter eggs 101. What an awesome engagement post, right? An informational post. Nothing about this is salesy at all, okay? Get away from the salesy stuff. Get away from the book a show, buy from me, buy from me. Do the stuff that either engages them or gives them information that provides value. And I am a huge fan of putting blog posts into my scripts and just giving them more helpful information that they can actually use. So, oh, here you go. The one down here. What goes with ham? 9 tasty sides to complete your spring feast. These are great. And this is back from 2016. Okay, if we open it up, let's see if they updated the pictures. Supposedly they're going to be updating the pictures. Maybe not so much. But there's some great recipes in here that people could take a look at. And this will definitely be something that I post again. And then here, how to blanch and chock vegetables, how to make an amazing pan sauce. These are awesome. So use them. All right, so I spent too much time on that. But you can go in here and you can do all kinds of things in the search. Click the entertaining button. There's stuff for summer. There's stuff for drinks. But a lot of these, like the Holiday Entertaining Survival Guide, this is from 2 years ago. I posted it 2 years ago and I posted it again this year, and it was in my party scripts. So, all right, let me get out of there.
Quick question, Amy. How do you capture that and put it into your Post My Party?
Up on top.
People nodding.
Copy and paste the link. That's all you're doing. So the reason how we got to this to begin with was I was talking about how sometimes there, instead of a picture in my Post My Party, there might be a link. So instead of just copying the one area of text, you're going to copy the area of text, and then you're also going to see a spot where it's going to have you copy some kind of video link or web page link or something like that. And you need to know that there are going to be times where you're going to have to copy 2 different spots per page. All right. But anytime you look at a page on the web, how you get there again is just by going to the address, right? Does that all make sense to everybody? So I got whatever's address up on top, that's it. Keep in mind that because this is connected to my personal website, it's going to have my name on it. It's taking them to my website. So please make sure you are changing it to your blog, not my blog. Okay. And then there are times where I might just go to the regular pamperedchef.com site and click the blog. And then when I copy and paste this link, it'll just be the regular pamperedchef.com site versus the personal website. Is that confusing people, or are you making it all making sense in your head? I'm seeing yeses and nos. Okay. Unless you get off of mute and tell me something, I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Yes.
You can unmute yourself if you need to talk to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys can all unmute yourself. I love Zoom. This is the best thing. Okay, so let me try and finish up because I know you guys want to get going on this a little bit. This is what roughly the document is going to look like that I'm going to post in the next day or two for your group. This document was initially created by another national director and a multitude of her downline directors. Because we try and be very careful about duplicating exact information when it comes to Facebook, I have been doing my best to edit this in as many ways as possible. And I've got a good chunk of it done. Plus, I've actually added a lot of my own personal stuff, just out of respect to them so that their group has their own and we've got enough. But what I like about this is it's given us a starting point. And honestly, the last couple of years, my Facebook shows have not been that great. I was thrilled if they hit, 400, and I maybe only had 1 or 2 a month. And I really was struggling with how do I engage with the guests? How do I engage with the hosts? I wasn't doing enough pre-engagement going into the party. So that was a struggle. And being able to see this format really did change quite a bit for me. So there's a whole thread here on, training overviews, how to set up the party, mailing the host packet, creating the Facebook Messenger thread. Because one of the things I do is for my host coaching, I create a single Facebook Messenger thread. So you know how when you do Messenger, do you know you can do more than one person and have like a whole group conversation? Okay. So Sunday is my setup day. So my parties don't actually start until Friday, but Sunday and Monday is my setup day. I set up the parties on the Pampered Chef site. I set them up on Facebook. I set them up and Post My Party. They each get an email. It's the only email communication they get from me. What's the other thing I do? I get their packets out in the mail for Monday or Tuesday at the latest. And then I set up the Facebook Messenger thread, and I actually say to them, hey, you're my party hosts for February 15th through 22nd. Say hi to each other and share what you love. And this is something I started doing about a month ago, and I have found that when I do this, they are crazy supportive of each other. Somebody's asking a question, and they're actually answering the question before I get back on Facebook and see that there was a question asked. So it's saving me time and effort to the point where they're even taking snapshots or screenshots of things and sharing screenshots to help each other out. So it's really great to get them engaged as a small group and getting them helping each other out. I think it creates a little more interest. So I'm going to scroll pretty quick through here. but this is all stuff that kind of walks you through how to do things. A lot of this you probably already know. It's pretty basic. I will tell you that when I first got this document, it was a 70-page document. And I was so overwhelmed, but I think I started off the beginning of this talk telling you that I am a huge, huge fan of just jumping in and figuring it out as I go. So I skimmed through the pages and I just said, what the heck? I'm just going to do it and see what happens. And I just, really all it is copying and pasting. That's all it is. If you can copy and paste, you can do this job. You know, I do a lot of different things. Party templates, talks about templates here. Let me just scroll through. I want you to actually see the Google Door Prize slip over here on the right. This is actually, and after all this time, I don't even know who's actually teaching this video, but it teaches you how to create a Google Door Prize slip. What I would recommend is that you maybe have the video going on a tablet next to your computer, and then actually work on creating one on your computer while you're watching the video, and then just pause it as you go. Pre-party coaching and posting. This is actually the email that I send to my hosts. This is it, with all the highlighting and everything. And it's one of the reasons why I send it via email versus Messenger, is because I want all the highlighting to be very, very clear. And step one has them creating an engagement post on their personal wall. They like to not do what you tell them to do. So for example, Rhonda, who is starting on Friday with me, created her own post about her Pampered Chef party instead of using what I told her. So I ended up going into the group and just saying, hey guys, I want to make sure you're all posting the engagement, sentence or two that I had recommended. The reason I recommend this is because social media requires engagement. And if you don't put up something that encourages engagement, you're not actually getting anywhere. There's a point to this message. There's a reason this message is worded the way it is. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get any benefit. So, and this is very much a snowball effect. And what they do, today is Wednesday, so today is the first day they've been allowed to start inviting. What they do between now and Saturday night will actually determine the size of their party the following week. So this is that big ramp up. So anyway, this is the whole email that I send out. And then you'll see it says post this in the host group message. I would actually prefer that you guys don't use this. I would prefer that you use your own. Let me backtrack. This link here is a link to a $2,000 party that I had. You are all welcome to go look at it. It's open. You can all click on it, and you'll be able to do this when you get the script. I would request, though, that you don't send your hosts there. I would request that you have your own party, your own previous party that you send your host to. But this is a successful one that I had, and I encourage my hosts to go look at it and then tell me why they thought it was good. And then I give them a little bit of an explanation, and then I have them look at a bad party. For the hosts who choose to do this, I generally see that they have bigger shows than the others. And they won't all do it. I don't care what you say, they're not going to all do this. The trick is to get them to do as much as possible. This right here where it says create now, this is actually a video script adapted from Tammy Hunter. She's the upper level director. What is she? Mary, what is she, a senior or an exec? Senior, I think. She's in Maine. But this is the script that she does for a video. The point of this video is to get people to message you before you message them. And the reason why you want this and why it's worth your time and effort to do this video is because when people message you first, you have a less chance of going in Facebook jail. That's the whole point of this. Because I might get 10, 15, 20 people that will, per party, that will message me before I message them, which means I'm not in trouble with Facebook for trying to reach out to all those people, which means I can now reach out to other people who didn't message me. So this is huge. And it's very, very helpful. Very, very helpful. It does require that you redo it every month. I will tell you that for my first 2 batches of parties, I didn't do it at all because this was not something that was in this script. It was something that I knew Tammy was doing and I knew I wanted to incorporate. So it took me about a month or so before I started it. And once I started it, I really could tell the benefit. It did help. So if you're freaking out about it and it's going to prevent you from doing this party at all, then skip it and add it in another month or 2. All right. But then pretty much after that, you'll notice it says Tuesday here, before party. You scroll down, Wednesday, before party. You don't need to look at this entire document. There's no need for that. Look at one day at a time. Just one day at a time. Okay. It's all marked. Thursday before the party. This is what you do. Thursday night before the party. Friday morning before the party. And there's a little bit more right in the beginning. I will say that Monday through Friday, I have an alarm that goes off on my phone at 8:15 in the morning, reminding me to actually make these posts. On the weekends, it goes off at 9:15, because if I don't have that alarm, I will forget. There are 3 nights where they recommend posting something in the evening. And so I have an alarm that goes off on my phone 3 nights a week, reminding me to do my posting. And that goes off at like 5:15. So I'm usually in the kitchen doing dinner and I can just hop in my office real quick and click a couple buttons and it's done. So, but it walks you through what you send to the host and it walks you through your tasks. When I first did this, there were things on here I did not understand what they were talking about. So I skipped them. And then the following batch of parties, I looked at it again and then it started to make sense. So I started to add more and more in. All right. Questions about any of this? I know that went long, but this is a lot of information. And that's not a bad thing.
I have a quick question, Amy. You said something about setting an alarm for you to post, but you mentioned post my party. So what are you posting that's not scheduled to post my party?
My party is the party post, the scripts that the guests are seeing.
Okay. And so this is what you're sending to your host?
Is host coaching.
Okay, perfect. I thought so, but I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Amy?
Yes.
What do you do with a totally technologically inept host? Like they have no clue.
You have to decide how much time you're willing to spend with them. I have actually taught a number of people over the years how to copy and paste. Some of them catch on very quickly and then things are fine. Some of them do not. And I know there was at least one party I had right before Christmas where she just threw up her hands and said, forget it, send me catalogs. And she turned in $400 in sales by passing catalogs.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. On the flip side, let me see, Judy was one of my hosts last week and sent me a message the Wednesday before saying, I am too overwhelmed. This is too much information. There's no way I could do any of this. And I just called her up and I said, well, if at any point in time you decide that, you know, this is not something you want to do, I'm totally cool with it. But would you be willing to maybe stick it out for another day or two and just, you might learn something. Would you be interested in learning a little bit more about Facebook and how to use it? And she goes, well, yeah. And I said, well, why don't you let me, you know, teach you through this process of this host coaching that I'm going to be sending you. And she goes, well, okay. And because I was so laid back about it and just took it as, you know, hey, it's a learning opportunity. She had a $543 party.
Great. I kind of did the same thing with these past 2 virtuals that I had received. And it was a little more work than normal, but by sticking it out, they actually, you know, did work out, but it was, you know, a lot of teaching.
Yeah. You know, and at some point you do have to decide where that maybe you're going to say, gosh, you know what, maybe this isn't working for you. Why don't, you know, you do have the link, you do share it. And you know, that's the other thing too, because I tell them to post in layers, or excuse me, to invite in layers, you know, invite inside Facebook, but most people aren't going to see it. Now they argue with you. Well, of course, all my friends see all their invitations on Facebook. Why wouldn't they see all my, yeah. So you have to explain to them that that's not really how Facebook works. And then they're like puzzled and confused.
I was sending my my one host the things that I wanted her to post, but she didn't quite understand it. She kept taking things from the party and posting them on her timeline. And I'm like, no, that's not what I was asking you to do.
We are all going to get
We had it all backwards, but we got it all straightened out.
We are all going to get those people. It does not matter. So the trick is, go in there, check, make sure that you're seeing their posts from their wall, seeing what they're actually doing.
Right.
Whatever they tell you that they're doing, they're probably only doing about half of it. Because what they think is a big deal is like nothing. But I overemphasize to the point where they're probably rolling their eyes at me that they have to text people. And I encourage them to text everybody the link.
Right.
And just say, hey, check out my party. And once they do that for one, they can repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. It's just a copy paste.
Right.
But texting is going to get you way farther than inviting on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Really well. And that's a big conversation I had multiple times. So trying to scroll through here real quick and see if there's anything else. So this is a mishmash of stuff I got from another national, my own personal stuff, some things from Tammy Hunter, and some things from Stephen, and I can never say his last name, Josephs or something like that. Some of his ideas are in here. So there's some neat information in here. It really comes down to the host coaching. And I think this is now the 4th or 5th time I've said that. It really does. To go along with this, there is an Excel document. Anybody here freaking out that I just said Excel? The beauty of this is you just hit print, and here it is. That's it. You just hit print, you get a document, name, party theme. I do something kind of weird. I've edited this because this came with the host coaching script, and I've done some edits on it. I actually go in and I look up how many Facebook friends they have. Not because I want to stalk them. Let me see if anybody, 2 new members. Okay. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on, let me go and see if anybody else invited. Oh, here we go. Okay. So Lisa started inviting. So what I do is I can tell she's already got 25 members that have accepted this party, which is an awesome way to start. I'm thrilled. So I'm going to go to members. Do you guys see where I have members over here on the left? Okay. I'm going to click on members, and then I really don't necessarily care what's all in there. Lisa's actually from Minnesota. It's one of the cool things about doing these Facebook parties. I actually have a huge group in Minnesota and another one in Oregon that I do parties for. Where we get the important part is over here on the right. Do you see where it says invited, unavailable, and blocked? I click on invited. So there's 26 people who've said yes, another 193 who were invited. I am very pleased with Lisa right now. Very pleased. We want to try and do 150 to 200 invites. Anything over 250, Facebook actually changes some of the things that we can and can't see, and we don't want to be over that. So Lisa is totally on the high end of the sweet zone. I'm very, very happy. So really she invited probably about 120 people, roughly. Okay. So this makes me a happy girl. She's not going to hear a thing from me. But maybe I go, let's go into Brittany, see what Brittany did. Okay, Brittany did some too. So we're going to go to Brittany members, and we're going to click on invited on the right. Whoa. Okay, so Brittany invited a lot of people. So hopefully she won't go over 250. Wow, I seem to have good hosts this month, or this week. But let's pretend Brittany only invited, Brittany has 22 people who responded, but maybe she only invited like another 90. So her total would be 22 plus 90, 112. So I'm like, oh, I probably need to nudge Brittany a little bit. So I just hop back. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 22 members. I want to find Brittany. Where's Brittany hiding? And And, oh, here she is. I'm going to click on Brittany. I want to view her profile. And I want to click on friends. Brittany has 454 friends. Well, now I can go to Brittany and say, gosh, Brittany, you know what? You only invited about 112 people. We really want to see it closer to 200. I know you got several hundred friends. I don't say 454. That's way too stalkerish. I just say you've got several hundred friends. You know, go find another 100 that you can invite. It's going to make a drastic difference to your party. Okay. And that's similar to how I handle my host coaching for my home parties too, is I'm very direct about the numbers, because this is all a numbers game. That is all this is. It's all it comes down to. Numbers game. You got to invite enough people to find enough who are interested, to find enough who actually place an order. And that also means then you find enough who book for more shows. Okay. Do I need to re-explain this to anybody, or does this all make sense? We're all good?
Sense.
Okay. All right. I think I'm finally done, and that went twice as long as it should have, so I'm sorry. But it's a lot of information. What questions do you guys have?
Okay, so I have one, and it seems like it kind of gets tap danced around all over creation. I listened to Stephen Joseph, and I saw his outline, and I talked to a couple other people, and everyone just says interaction, interaction, interaction. But what are you doing to get people to interact? Because I've tried, guess how many pieces are in this pot and how many toys are in this box, and just pictures of your favorite pet.
That's a guessing game. That's not interaction.
But people have asked what their favorite products is. I've asked to post a picture of their favorite dog. I've asked them to, you know,
well, let me ask you this.
What's my chef name with
how many people do you actually have in the party who've accepted the party at that point?
I have only ever, the most I've ever gotten on any one show has been about 20 to 25.
So what do you think your average is?
12. And I know it's a host coaching thing.
That is the problem right there. That 100% is the problem. So if you don't have enough people in there, you're stuck. And let me go. So this is Dawn. Dawn was the dream host. I might never in my entire life have another host like Dawn. Dawn is a director with 31 gifts and bags. Mm-hmm. Dawn did every single thing I told her to, and she did more. So let me scroll down. And I think before I talked about engagement posts in the beginning, my first 3 days of my party are primarily focused on engagement posts. And the engagement posts are generally like, what are you having for dinner? Or, hey, you can have this or this for dinner. Which would you rather have, or why? Or, you know, here, what's your spirit food? For some reason, people like this stupid what's your spirit food thing. I'm blown away by how many people answer this darn thing. Really, seriously. Really do not understand why they answer it the way they do. So let me get down here to the bottom. Sorry, it's a lot of posts. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Hit Control and it goes all the way down.
I'm sorry, what?
If you're a keyboard person, if you hit Control End, it goes all the way down to the last of your posts.
Seriously, I love you.
Yep.
Okay. So this is, I briefly mentioned this a couple times before, but this is a really big thing, the early bird drawing. Everybody who responds to this drawing, their name goes into a hat Monday, well, really Tuesday morning. They have through Monday night to do it, to post. And then Tuesday morning, I pull a name. But this gets them actually typing in the party. And if they're posting in the party, Facebook is more likely to allow them to see the other posts in the party. Here's something else. If the host is posting in the party, Facebook is more likely to let the guests see my posts. If the host is not posting in the party, Facebook is less likely to let the guests see my posts because they're not friends with me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, yeah, I get that.
Okay. So a couple of different things here. You will notice that Dawn had 44 comments on here. Now, some of them are her comments, you know, responding to people or mine. But this is where the momentum starts to build. is with this engagement post. So we encourage them, say hi, a smiley face, put up, some kind of graphic. People do the silliest graphics. It's just kind of fun. So I skim through here and I kind of do a count. You'll notice at some point, let me get to where one is. I might comment sometimes. Okay, so here. So I don't know which day this was. I think this was on Saturday. Wahoo, you hit 15 really fast. If you hit 30, I'll draw 2 names for a prize. Let me tell you, they work really hard to do that. This engagement post is one of the things that makes a drastic difference to the results of the party.
Okay.
Because now they're fighting like, oh, we got 15 people that responded. We need more people. So it's helping encourage them to get more people going and being a part of this. And because they're posting, they then see more. And you'll notice again, I put in here at 23. Honestly, the reason I do this is it's easier for me to not have to keep recounting.
That makes sense.
Seriously. But it's also very motivating to them. But this comes down to, if you've only got, maybe 12 people that are responding to this party, in general, we're seeing out of the people who respond, maybe half of them actually order, maybe. And if there's not a lot of engagement with the party, that half drops drastically because then they're not even seeing the posts. So it all goes back to the host coaching, getting the host to layers of inviting, multiple ways of inviting, texting, personal messaging, getting at least 150 to 200 people invited so that ideally you have 25 to 35 people who respond, so that ideally you have maybe 10 to 15 orders.
Okay.
Do you see how that number game works?
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
I just had a couple of shows recently where the hosts were extremely involved. They were doing extra posts on their own. I didn't have the template and all that you were talking about with all the Stephen Joseph's wording yet, and they could not get any of their friends involved at all. And I had done something similar to the spirit food thing, and they responded to that, and then it was like crickets. So
how many people were actually in the party though?
23.
Okay. So I think,
but I still think there's more numbers. That makes sense.
I know nothing about how you do your parties. And do I have parties that are duds? Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, there was my smallest party this last week. Her sales were $389, and every single one of those orders came in Friday night and Saturday morning as the party ended. She was at 0 for 7 straight days. And honestly, I didn't think she was going to have anything.
So I don't want to hog this because I know that people probably have questions too, but when you said that your template was based on not the direct shipping. When you do that, do you have any wording that tells them to not start ordering yet because once they're done, they can't add anything to their order?
Whatsoever. They put that order in, it's done and gone.
Okay.
For DSN, I have to take all that wording out.
Okay.
So they can't create it and then let it sit. They can create a wish list.
Right. I just had been mine. I had sat there and said, be careful before you finish in case you haven't seen it all. Type a comment, not quite that wording.
So here's the thing with that. I don't want to say that. And the reason I don't want to say that is I don't want them to decide it's too much bother to go back and not do the order.
That makes sense.
So
okay, I will shut up now.
I do have people who come to me later in the week who say I want to add something. And I'll say, hey, you know what? Check with one of your friends. I'll give you, actually, first I find out what they want to add. A couple weeks ago, they wanted to add a piece of cookware. I said, no problem. We'll just take care of that. And I waived the shipping. I entered it for her. But other times, I'll say, you know what? Check with a friend, check with a girlfriend or a neighbor and see if somebody wants to split the shipping with you. Or see if one of your friends hasn't ordered yet and see if they'll let you throw it on there. And that actually works very well.
Good idea. Okay. Thank you.
Now, Amy, have you ever done a host coaching video? Because I had done a virtual party with a Sensi person, and she sent me a host coaching video through Messenger telling me how to how to and why and everything like that. And it really kind of struck me as, wow, this was pretty cool. I mean, it was a general, it wasn't specifically to me, even though it was sent to me. It was a general informational thing that was more, I'm sure she just made this, but it really kind of like made me think, wow, this was pretty cool. It was face to face. I, opened up my messenger and there she was, and she was explaining everything and the why behind it, so that, it was face to face, and it was pretty neat. Have you ever done anything like that, or has anybody else done any
I do know
videos
that
like that?
There are consultants who do that. I don't currently have one. It is on my list to do a mini intro video to just my hosts. I'm not a fan of doing a longer video with too much information in it, because honestly, I don't think people watch it.
Yeah, this was really short. It was just, kind of like, just the first thing that she wanted you to do, and that was to invite, and how important that was.
I think it's crazy smart to let them see your face. And that's one of the reasons why I have that script set up for all you guys to use if you want, for that Tammy Hunter does, that gets people to personal message you, because that's letting the customers see me face to face. It's about a 6.5 to 7 minute script. So they're seeing you face to face for that period of time. And it's really, really helpful.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Amy, with the new Facebook algorithms with inviting people, I've had some hosts, which I didn't get ahead of them, and saying you can only invite so many at a time, otherwise it doesn't allow you to invite people. And I've had a lot of them end up being in pending, and you can't re-invite them because it says they're already invited. But how do you get them out of the pending to start over?
This is what I find very frustrating with all this is that I can have some hosts who just pound through and invite everybody and they have no issues. Yeah. And then I have other hosts who get thrown into jail. And I cannot figure out a rhyme or reason why. I do actually address that in the host coaching. It'll say, just be aware. You might be stopped from adding more people. Just stop and then go back and add more the next day. But this is also where I'm that huge fan of layering your invitations. Make sure they're texting. People, if they click the Facebook button, you'll be notified that somebody wants to be added to the party, and then you can just add them. But that's where it becomes vitally, vitally important that they text. I beat that into their head over and over again for a ton of reasons, and the one you're asking is just one of them.
So it's better to have them be invited, and as an administrator, okay, who's invited then, just so you can accept them into the group? Is that better?
I make all of my hosts administrators.
Yeah.
That's a choice that I make.
Okay.
Because actually the main reason is because I want us to be able to see the exact same screen, so that if we have any issues, I can actually talk to them about what is going on. And they can see the same thing I see. Because if they're only a moderator, the screen looks a little different.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
2 quick questions, Amy. On Google Forms, if you're running more than one show at a time, and you have put the link in for your Google form, okay, so 4 at a time, it makes no difference how many you're doing, and you've put the Google form into your Post My Party, and somebody clicks on it and fills out that form.
Yeah.
Are all of those going into a single pot, or are they broken out by shows?
Sorry.
Or do you want to create a separate?
I don't care where they go. I honestly don't care. Because all I care is, did they fill it out? And I do ask, one of the questions is, who is your host?
Okay.
So, when I pop it open, I scroll real quick And then, is there anything they want? Nope. Delete. Done. Gone.
Okay.
I'll jot their name down on here. Although there was at least once where I was naughty and I didn't do that. But yeah, I go through it. If they mark nothing to all the questions, I just delete them. The faster I can get rid of them. I didn't do any pre-deleting last week. And of the 4 parties, I had 87 people who filled it out. It takes a long time to delete all those.
Mhm.
So when you look at your host coaching notes, it'll actually say, I think on Wednesday, go check the Google Docs and delete anybody who has everything as nothing. It ends up saving you time later because it took me forever to go through 87 Google Forms.
Okay.
So.
If your hostess is in Facebook jail, are you dead in the water?
Mm-mm.
No, you're still able to go through with her party?
Well, at that point, it's kind of late to stop it. I've never had anyone be in Facebook jail so long that they couldn't be part of the party. Usually where there's going to be a problem is in the inviting process that would be starting like today for a party that's starting Friday. And by the time we get 3-4 days out, she'll be out of Facebook jail.
Mhm.
If
Okay.
she is.
Okay, I lied. I actually have 3 questions. When you are doing your prizes, first of all, what are you doing for prizes? And second of all, how are you determining who your prize winners are? And are you literally counting them up and putting them in? I mean, let's face it, we're not putting in 5,000 tickets for these people and then mysteriously drawing one out. We're kind of, are you just kind of looking and saying, oh, wow, she made a lot of comments, let's pick her? Or what are you doing?
Yeah. So I fill out my sheet. It's not perfect. I don't write down every time someone posts, but you do after a week, you kind of know who the bigger posters are. There is a column here for the early bird winner, or if like in some cases more than one person can win the early bird, I check mark everybody who wins early bird. I give a prize for everybody who orders on Monday and Friday. So I check mark all of them. And then there's the final prize. Please, whatever you do, it is not a grand prize. It is a final prize. Grand prize implies something expensive. And there are people who have actually been mad because they weren't getting a rock crack or a piece of cookware. So I'm in the awkward position of being on direct ship. This is the one negative to direct ship, is not being able to add things. So if you guys aren't on direct ship, you know what? Go in and add, a season's best cookbook, add a citrus peeler, just a little token of something that is all they need or care or want about. Because I'm on direct ship, I was doing a couple of things. I was sending either season's bests or, Mary, you might recognize this. This is actually a list of 72 things you can do with a pan scraper. Yeah, she recognizes it. So I got this idea from somebody else, and I just have a pan scraper taped to it. So there are a variety of things that I've done. I got a little bit frustrated with how long it was taking me to mail all these, because I had one show where I had 14 people order on Friday. That meant I had to mail out 14 things for the Friday people, plus 2 for Monday, plus the early bird, plus the grand final. So I actually did go and I created some little recipe booklets. So for example, like in Prep Ahead, there's a bunch of recipe graphics. I actually put those into a document. And then that was something that I just went ahead and I sent to all of, I'm starting now to send those to the prize winners. The final prize winner, they are still getting something in the mail from me.
Do you email those booklets or are you mailing them?
No, I email them.
Okay.
The final prize winner gets something in the mail from me. Everybody else gets an email with a batch of recipes.
Okay.
How many prizes do you draw? Like, how many prize winners do you
The
have
final
in a show?
The final
Pardon?
prize winner is 1. Okay. Early bird It depends on how many people. If they have 15, I draw one. But that's also where I try building the excitement. Hey, if you get to 30, I'll draw 2 or maybe 3. If you get to 40, I'll draw, so that depends. And then the other 2 prizes are completely based on who orders on what day, either Monday or Friday.
Okay.
So for me, I look at this and I was a little surprised by the amount I was spending. And then I realized that I have something like a $750 Facebook party average. And I haven't left my house. I did not spend any gas money, no wear and tear on my car.
Right.
I did not buy any food. And the reality is when I'm at my parties, I'm usually giving away 4 or 5 prizes at my parties, generally because I have high attendance at my parties, which is what actually gets me my high show average for home parties. So I have no problem doing these prizes.
Right.
However, creating a little email booklet that I can send to the Monday and Friday winners, that will definitely save me actually quite a bit of money.
Could you share that document of the 72 ways to use a pan scraper?
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's really cute.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and that's been around forever.
It's true.
Well, Mary and I've been around forever, so. Okay.
So, quick question, and then we probably need to wrap it up to be sensitive of everybody's time. For somebody who's been trying virtual shows like myself and has not had real good success with it and wants to try this, what do you recommend to reach out to get people to try a new format or a new way of doing this without sounding like you're pleading?
Please, I beg you.
Please.
So what I've been talking to my team members about, because they're kind of in the same boat. They've been trying to do Facebook parties and haven't really gotten very far with it because they were struggling with structure and they were struggling with host coaching, was just to literally say, oh my gosh, we got this brand new format to go along with the new catalog and it's so cool. And will you please be my guinea pig? And I'm going to make sure you get a ton of free product if you do exactly what I tell you. Will you help me out? I really need the help learning how to use this new format.
Okay. That works.
And you'll get a bunch of no's, but you will get the yeses. And in fact, I have one of my more consistent team members has really fought against trying this new format. And I've been preaching it since probably Thanksgiving. And one of the other team members talked her into it last week. She did one show and it's at $536 in sales, I think. And she got 2 bookings off of it.
Nice.
So to her, this is the start of where she can now go. She works full time for her family business. And she has a hobby farm. So she spends 1 to 2 hours a day working with the animals, 40 hours a week working with her day job for her family business, and then does Pampered Chef on the side and has really just struggled. So this she sees as something that's actually doable.
Great.
So how good is, or what's your average for getting bookings from one of your virtual shows then, or possibly recruits too then?
So I haven't been pleased with my recruit response, and that is something that I need to be working on. This is like my seventh round of these parties. So I've really been focusing on fine-tuning the host coaching. And then I've been asked to teach this, and I've been doing some other things. Recruiting is what I'm working on next, with trying to see what I can do, because the recruit information is in there, but I need to tweak it somehow, and I need to do more follow-up. I will say that the bookings I'm getting are based on conversation that is being held in the party and then on the door prize slips. It is recommended that you contact or that you text every single person who orders. And I honestly have not had the time to do that. That has been a choice that time had to go to something else. And I do sit here and I do wonder, what my recruiting numbers would be if I had actually been texting everybody. I think they would be different.
Do you average like 2 bookings a VP show or more?
Okay, so like this last batch, I had 0, 1, 2, and 6. The one before this, I had 1, 3, and 5. So this is generally where it becomes so important that you're doing several at once, because all the ones that had low bookings had low attendance, low activity, low everything. Everything was low. Okay. And generally the rule of thumb I'm hearing from people who are batching these parties together is if you're doing 4, 1 is going to be great, 1's going to bomb, and 2 are going to be in the middle.
So the sheet that you're looking off of, are those sheets that you showed us, the printed Excel spreadsheet? Is that what you're flipping through on your desk?
Yeah. And I keep notes, and I have all of them going all the way back to when I started these in November. I've added, they're a little bit different than what I originally had gotten. I'm adding more information. And I shouldn't say, and I have had a couple of recruit leads in the sense that people are really shocked when they hear how much I'm making. I'm very comfortable telling them that. So I have had a couple of posts who said maybe we should talk, but then have, backed off for whatever reason. So there is some interest in there. People don't believe though that it can be true. They think this is just too good to be true. And the crazy part is it's not. So it's there. I'm not thrilled. I feel like I should be getting higher recruiting interest than what I am. That's where I'm frustrated. But that'll come. I'll work on that.
Maybe comparing it to Amazon Prime or, somehow like that. Say, it's out there for the taking, just like, how Amazon Prime, sells things. You can too. All you need to do is start your own business and let me help you do that. Something, I don't know, that they're always using and relating to. And it's like, well, okay.
It's
yeah.
It really is just fear. It's fear of the unknown. Yeah. It's fear of failure. It's fear of success. That's one that always blows my mind, are people that don't do it because they're afraid they will succeed. Mm-hmm. Or team members I've had who've sabotaged themselves because they were afraid to succeed. So,
True.
Okay, I know we've gone way over.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you very much for this. This has been amazing. And if anybody else has any other questions, you guys can post them on the group because she will see them.
Yeah, just tag me.
Yeah, tag her in it. And thank you so much, Amy. That has been amazing. I'm overwhelmed, but at the same time, I'm excited. So I'm ready to start.
Please, my last words to you would be just jump in. Don't think it. Don't try and read the whole document. Don't try and understand the whole document. Just do it. Just do it. Pick a date. Pick March 1st and tell everybody it's going to be the new catalog. And
there you go.
There's a couple shows in there and just do it.
So thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. Is there any specific homework that you would have anybody do specifically, Amy?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so there's your homework. Just get on and do it. All right, and then I'm just going to add to that, you guys, keep up with your 25 contacts and just post on our group how things are going, and we'll go from there. So have a fantastic week. We'll see you guys next week for our wrap-up.
Thank you
so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Right.